to buy Yaka units. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
Sawa emu yennyini yakawongezi nkwaniriza nnyo ku UBC TV na tukutuusaako ebifudde mu bitundu by'eggwanga ebyenjawulo tugenda kuba tubikutuusaako mu bwangu ddala naye katusooke tulabe ebikulu ebigakulembeddemu n'oluvannyuma nga kutuuseeko mu bujjuvu nejjukiza muno atanatega UBC TV nti tutandise. Parliamentary yakuteekawo abanoonyereza ku buwumbi 5 ez'okukola eddagala erigema COVID-19 nate ne bbaasi ekutta omuliro n'ebwatuka ku luguudo lw'e Masaka. Ababudami ababadde bazze muno okuva e Congo abasinga batandise okuddayo. Nate mu byemizannyo ogenda kulaba nga ttiimu ya Ethiopia ewangudde ya Uganda mu z'abakazi enjeru mu z'akamalirizo. Weewaawo nze Marion Nakitene ne Yusufu Ssenyomo wali mu lulimi olw'obubonero amangu ddala agenda kuba atwegattako. Kino kitundu kyekisooka kankitandike n'ekitongole kya Uganda Red Cross Society basabye gavumenti eteekewo ebikozesebwa ebinaayamba okutegeka ababudami abayingira eggwanga ensangi zino okuva mu ggwanga lya Democratic Republic ya Congo. Omwogezi wa Red Cross mu ggwanga Marion Nakitene agambye nti ekitongole kyabwe kinyigiriziddwa olw'embeera eyaleetebwa ekirwadde kya COVID-19 nga n'olwekyo basazeewo basanga okusoomooza okw'enjawulo mu mirimu gyabwe era katubifune.
Oluvannyuma lw'okulwanagana okuli mu buvanjuba bwa Democratic ya Congo okunyiinyiitira, abatuuze baayo kati banoonya wakwewogoma we bafunira emirembe. Ababudami abasoba mu 1000 be baayingidde eggwanga mu bbanga lya wiiki ng'emu yokka.
Lwajjo lwabadde lwaddukadduka, bantu kutuuka balazeewa tubakoledde ki muwendo ki abantu ekyamazima bangi sijja kugamba 100, 200, 300, 4, 5 bali mu 10.
Nakasiita agamba nti ku nsala ebunagana wajjudde nga basazeewo okugira nga babateeka ennyakabaale ng'engeri y'okubasunsula olwo balyoke babafunire gye balaga. Wabula Red Cross ekaluubirirwa okubalabirira olw'ensawo enfunda.
Twetaaga ensimbi lwadde nga tetunnaba kati quantifying nsimbi mmeka naye buli lwe mugenda mu emergency response twetira tetuba n'ekyo tuyita contingency planning nti buli lwe bagwawo ekibamanga ekyo tuba n'ebiri basic bye tutandikirako. Nga bwe nkugambye nti tubadde already tuli constrained kolwa COVID kati tetulina okunoonya resources endala okusobola okudduukirira abantu bano.
Red Cross babadde tebeetegekedde embeera y'ababudami bayitirivu bwe bati mu kiseera kino ate bajjidde mu kiseera ekizibu nga COVID alina okwegenderezebwa ennyo so nga tewali mu budami n'omu yakeberwa ku nsalo.
Omuntu abundabunda ajja right now tewali kugamba nti asookera wali ne bamukebera COVID abantu bayingira buki buyingizi. Ekyokubiri tulina ze tuyita porous border points. Waliwo border points eziri official nti omuntu ajja kuyitira wali. Then waliwo na buno obulala bupanya routes abantu bayitamu ne bayingira eggwanga. So sijja kugamba nti bakeberebwa ekyo sijja kikulimba naye ezimu ku risks kati ze tuyina nti ng'eggwanga tusobola kati ministry y'ebyobulamu kubanga kino kigwa kitalaze esobola okuteekawo COVID-19 screening point ne tugamba nti tuscreeninge.
Abasinze okudduka ekibabo okunoonya we beewogoma okusinga abakazi n'abaana nga Red Cross kwe kusaba gavumenti okusitukiramu mu kifo ky'okutunuulira abagabi b'obuyambi. Wabula okusinziira ku Nakasiita ababudami batandise okudda ewaabwe oluvannyuma lw'okubakakasa nti embeera egenda edda mu nteeko. Nze Andrew Sebbira ne Lydia Kyomukama mu Kampala.
UBC LEERO Ministry y'ebyenguudo n'entambula batandise okunoonyereza ku kulwanagana okuli mu kitongole ky'eggaali y'omukka ekyonoona erinnya ly'ekitongole so ne ministry yennyini okutwalira awamu ng'alambula eggaali ez'omukka empya ezaaleeteddwa. Minisita omubeezi w'ebyentambula Fred Byamukama alumiriza abakozi abamu mu kitongole abatali bamativu olw'okuwa ne Parliamentary ebintu ebitali bituufu ekitattana erinnya ly'ekitongole.
Okuva akakiiko ka Parliamentary akalondoola emirimu gy'ebitongole bya gavumenti lwe kaatandika okunoonyereza ku ntambuza y'emirimu kitongole ky'eggaali y'omukka, ensonga ezikontana zizze zivaayo, ekintu ekiresse bannansi nga beemulugunya. Ekimu ku byanokolwayo z'eggaali z'omukka ezaakagulwa ng'abaali mu Parliamentary okuva mu kitongole ky'eggaali y'omukka baategeeza nti nno zino tezikolagana na nguudo ziriwo. Eggaali z'omukka zino zaagula obuwumbi bw'ensimbi 48.
Manya locomotives baagula nkadde, locomotives zaagaana okutambula ate nga be baali involved nga baadvising Ministry of Finance, Parliament approving nga webali ne bazitambuza ne bazijje mu Mombasa paka wano mu Uganda natanga ko ulimbalimba abantu mu social media nti tezituukana na mutindo. Abo ababbi abo tujja baddusa emisinde ate obude banatuuka okujjukira nti okukomawo emirimu ejja kubanga teri Bannayuganda abaagala akolera eggwanga lino nga bamaze ogitwala.
Bw'abadde alambula eggaali z'omukka zino, Minisita omubeezi ow'ebyentambula Fred Byamukama ategeezezza ki ekirina okukolebwa.
We realized the triangle which you have seen in front there, when they arrive here where they are supposed to turn and they make a reverse journey, it was too sharp. These are, you know, when your vehicle is long, it cannot negotiate a sharp corner. But when the vehicle is short, it can easily negotiate a sharp corner. So our engineers recommended that triangle should be changed to remove the sharp corner. That's what they have been doing, though the work was done slowly. I've directed them by Friday. They should have finished to work on that triangle.
Okusinziira ku b'ofiisa mu Uganda Railways, bino byonna byatunuulirwa bwe baali batandika ensonga z'okugula eggaali z'omukka zino.
Ze twaguze locomotive ziri heavy duty ate nga mpanvu mu katono okusinga ze tubadde nazo, so kino kiri nnomo okutweza triangle n'ogitereeza ne ziba nga zisobola okuweterawo bulungi mu mbeera eri nnomo. So tewali kizibu nnyo kiri awo ky'amaanyi.
Okusiga ekitongole kino ebisooto, Minisita agamba nti kiva ku kusika omuguwa okulibwa mu kitongole, ekintu ekiyinza okuleetera abantu okubajjamu obwesige.
Gavumenti erese bilioni 3 mu URC kati batandika okulwana, nze ntuteka ekigere, nze ntuteka omutwe, ono ntuteka ebyenda, balinganga abalwanira ente. Buli muntu anoonya wa survivingira. Kati mukavuyo ako okulwanira sente ne batujja ku mulamwa, sente babazireeta zijja kukola omulimo.
Okunoonyereza kutandise okuzuula ani yawa ab'akakiiko ka Kosasi ebintu ebyali bituufu nga yeenoonyeza ebibye.
Wana tuzisawudde tutya, ono ntuteko nti okugulu, ono ekisambi, ono omukono, ono omutwe, tetugenda kukkiriza ekyo. Bwe banaafuuka ekizibu tujja bagoba bonna ng'amateeka bwagalagira. Naye ffe tukyalina amaanyi aga supervising program zino nga Ministry of Works and Transport. Ate tugenda maaso n'okuddamu tumiitinge abakozi baffe ab'enjawulo nga tulaba ebizibu ebirimu. Oyinza kusanga abalala bakaayana balina their personal issues. Oli ayagala kubeera director, oli ayagala kubeera manager naye tabufunye.
Minisita akakasizza bannansi nga bwe bagenda okuteekesera n'okusinga mu ntambula y'eggaali esaabaza abantu nga bayita mu kuddamu okwekennenya embalirira y'eggwanga. Nze Lubwama Abdul Nasir.
byalubwama nga tubitadde wabbali abasaabaze 37 ababadde basaabalira mu baasi namba UAU 226 ng'eno ebadde eyolekera disitulikiti y'e Kabale okuva e Kampala ne gye buli eno e Magombe basimbyeyo kitooke anti katono bajjiire mu baasi eno weekutte omuliro. Embeera eno ebadde mu kabuga ke Kampiringisa mu disitulikiti y'e Mpigi ekisangibwa ku luguudo oluva e Kampala. Akabenje kano kakasiddwa poliisi era ng'omugoba wa baasi eno akwatiddwa ayambeko poliisi mu kunoonyereza. Katubifune.
Eno y'embeera ebadde mu kabuga ke Kampiringisa mu disitulikiti y'e Mpigi ekisangibwa ku luguudo oluva e Kampala okudda e Masaka. Baasi eno namba UAU 226 bw'ekomye wakati mu lugendo oluvannyuma lw'okukwata omuliro.
Baasi eyidde omuliro.
Eno nga ya kampuni ya Gateway ebadde eyolekera disitulikiti y'e Kabale ng'eva Kampala n'abasaabaze 37 era nga ku bo mpaawo alumiziddwa.
Abasaabaze mbagambye ng'ekyanyuka ne mbagamba muveeyo mpola mpola. Temubabayika kugwa mumenyeke ne bavaamu mpola mpola ng'ekyanyuka wano mabega ne bagwamu mmotoka nekwata omuliro yokka.
But none is injured. They all disembarked without any injury, those who were on board.
Poliisi enzikiza y'omuliro okuva mu disitulikiti y'e Mpigi yadde ng'etuuse mu kifo kino mu budde wabula mpaawo kyebadde esobola okutaasa oluvannyuma lw'okusanga nga baasi eno yonna efuuse muyonga. Samuel Emoji yabadde duleeva wa baasi eno era annyonnyola ogubadde.
Emmoloka nendaba nga enyoka. Bwe ndabye emmoloka ng'enyoka emabega n'enyimirira. Ngenza okuvaayo okutunulayo nga omuka guweze. Nengezaako okukwata ki ekidomola ky'amazzi nzikize n'ebirema nenjivaako.
Nga poliisi bwegezaako okunoonyereza ku kiki ekiviiriddeko omuliro guno ye duleeva agombeddwamu obwala okusobola okugyeyambako.
Kakati mwagala anti kutokozesa kifuba. Tokozesa kifuba.
There is no likelihood of anything like a blast or a bomb blast. It is from the mechanical condition of the bus. Yeah. Because no bomb is detected, nothing in connection to a bomb. No, for us we must continue investigating.
Minisita Mubeezi ow'ensonga z'omunda mu ggwanga General David Muhoozi asinzidde mu Parliamentary olw'eggulo lwa leero n'atangaza ku kabenje kano.
Of a new bus having been burnt in Mpigi, and it is scaring enough. I thought the minister would also advise us whether it is true or just alarming. And that's the information Minister, in relation to bombs.
Can you give us a clarification on that? It was in my communication because I saw it on social media. So you never know, it is just a social media.
No, it isn't, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members. There was indeed an incident on Masaka Road at Kamengo, to be exact. A bus caught fire and the information filtering in at the moment and not yet complete is that she developed mechanical conditions which forced the driver to stop. The passengers alighted, fortunately, but it caught fire nevertheless. The fire tenders are on the way, and once the fire is taken out, we shall verify to know the cause, whether it was something not related to the current threat of terrorism.
Poliisi yadde nga tennabagenda wala mu kunoonyereza kwayo wabula ekakasa nti kino tekibadde kintu kirala nnyo wabula gubadde muliro era ng'okunoonyereza okuzuulira ddala ku ki kwe guvudde kukyagenda mu maaso. Nze Robert Onyango owane e Kampiringisa.
Webale nnyo munaffe Robert Onyango ng'osinziira we Kampiringisa nga tumutadde wabbali Parliament yakuteekawo akakiiko akanoonyereza ku bigambibwa nti ensimbi obuwumbi obusoba 50 ze zabulankanyiriziddwa ng'abakugu kweka mu kukola eddagala erigema COVID-19 mu Uganda. Ensonga eno eteeka Minisita w'ebya Science, Technology n'obuyiiya Dr. Monica Musenero mu katu emaze wiiki namba ng'ebobbya bannansi emitwe era nga yaleetebwa omubaka akiikirira munisipaali y'Entungamu mu Parliament yonna Musinguzi ng'ono agamba nti Dr. Musenero yalimba omukulembeze w'eggwanga ku nsonga y'okukola eddagala erigema COVID-19 lyakono katubifune.
Information for the consumption of this house.
Wichi ewedde omubaka akiikirira munisipali y'Entungamu mu Paalamenti Yona Musinguzi yatemya ku Paalamenti ng'ensimbi obuwumbi 50 bwe zaabulankanyizibwa mu ofiisi ya minisita w'ebya sayansi, tekinologiya n'obuyiiya ekulemberwa Dr. Monica Musenero. Omumyuka wa sipiika Anita Among yalagira omubaka byayogera bikakase nga Paalamenti tenabaako kyekola ku nsonga eno. Libadde teriri busanga omubaka y'omu Yona Musinguzi olwaleero aleese ebiwandiiko mu lutuula lwa Paalamenti ng'obujulizi obukakasa bye yali ayogera.
Abasajja n'abakyala banywedde omusaayi gw'eggwanga, eggwanga balimazeemu, naye ffe tubalabe wano tubaleke balina okuzisesema bazireete sente zaffe.
Omubaka Yona Musinguzi yagamba nti minisita Dr. Monica Musenero yakulembera abanoonyereza ne batuula ew'omukulembeze w'eggwanga gye yabaweera ensimbi obuwumbi 50 zibayambeko mu kunoonyereza ko n'okukola eddagala lya Uganda erigema ekirwadde kya COVID-19.
N'agenda n'akola ekikampani nti preside, n'agattamu mikwano gye, n'agattamu bbaawe, because Dr. Musanza is part of the preside, akyegaane kuba atuula wali Entinda. N'agatta mukazi we Abel ne bakwata billion 3 ne bazibakasukira nti bali mu kola coronavirus. Bwe mba ndimba jo mwamalabye ku TV ngakankana anonya kyalaga abantu anti baleke kugamba nze ndi mubbi nti waliwo bye tukola yatulaze test tube emu ebirala n'abigamba nti tugende mu buzooni n'atugamba omukulu tugende tubuzooli. Accountability alina okugiwa Parliament okuba Parliament be bantu b'eggwanga ye tajja kutuuka Entungamo kuba naffe Entungamo omusolo bakola ki bagutujjako aleeta accountability. What is the coronavirus? I mean vaccine which she has made.
Ssentebe w'akakiiko kano mu Paalamenti ek'ebya sayansi, tekinologiya n'obuyiiya era nga ye mubaka ow'essaza lya Piano okuva e Karamojja agezezzaako okulemesa munne Yona Musinguzi bw'ategeezezza ng'ensonga zino bw'atandise okuzikolako naye nga buteerere.
All I'm driving to is some of these documents are already before the committee and the report of preside is precisely before me.
Madam Speaker.
The information I'm giving Madam Speaker is that this piece of information...
Madam Speaker.
Let's get all the documents that will help the minister.
Paalamenti era eremesezza ne minisita omubeezi mu minisitule y'ebyensimbi Henry Musaasizi okwanukula ku nsonga eyo ku lwa Dr. Monica Musenero.
I want to beg that if we are to have a meaningful debate in this House, we be allowed, first of all, to examine and verify the documents.
Yet last week, Madam Speaker, when the Honorable Yona raised this matter, we wanted to debate it, but you ruled that we allow the minister to come and present a statement today. That's why it is on the order paper. Is it a coincidence that this minister has run away and the Honorable Musasizi wants to claim that he is that minister we are talking about?
Omumyuka wa speaker abadde mu mitambo gy'olutuula luno olwaleero Anita Among ategeezezza nga bw'agenda okuteekawo akakiiko ak'enjawulo okunoonyereza ku nsonga eyo.
We have a select committee to investigate technology, science and innovation. Those in favor say
select committee.
And the contrary, no.
I keep this one for myself, but for my security, Madam Speaker, on Thursday, 2 vehicles followed me, and I know you have enough security. I will not move out of this Parliament before you give me one security.
Daniel Mugoya yakukungaanyiriza bino byonna.
Ebyo nno bye bibadde mu Paalamenti olunaku olwaleero nga tubitadde wabbali. Famire y'omugenzi Desire Mirembe agambibwa okuttibwa muganzi we Kirabo Matthew nga bakulembeddwamu taata we Emmanuel Musoke basabye gavumenti okufuna obwenkanya mu kuttibwa kw'omuntu waabwe. Bano okwogera bino batunuulidde ensonga ya kooti gye buvuddeko okukkiriza okutta Kirabo Matthew ku kakalo ka kooti. Okwogera bino babadde boogerako eri bannamawulire ku hoteli ya Speaker wano mu Kampala.
Desire Mirembe ow'emyaka 19 ng'ali muyizi ku ssettendekero lya Makerere kigambibwa nti yattibwa muganzi we Matthew Kirabo mu ntiisa nga bino byonna byaliwo mu mwezi gwa Julayi omwaka 2015 mu nnimiro y'ebikajjo e Lugazi mu disitulikiti y'e Buyikwe. Omuvunaanwa Maso Kirabo yakkiriza mulujjudde nga bwe yatta omuwala ono nga wano kkooti esookerwako ejjinja yamugulako omusango gw'obutemu bw'atyo n'asindikibwa mu nkomyo wadde nga yateebwa ku kakalu ka kkooti. Kati famire y'omugenzi Mirembe evuddeyo okusaba obwenkanya mu kufa kwa muwala waabwe kye bagamba nti essiga eddamuzi terikoze kimala mu bbanga lya myaka 6 Buchango n'attibwa.
Tusaba bwenkanya eri famire ya Desire Mirembe kyekyo kye tusaba kubanga taata we taddanga ngulu fe ababeera naye tarikavalinganga
kuba yatuukirira olunaku lumu najja nagamba nti talina musango teyatta ddala bw'aba teyatta ajje kkooti eramule emmeeme zaffe ziwummule ng'abazadde naye awummule.
Ono era asabye buli kukikwatako okulaba ng'omuvunaanwa addamu okukwatibwa okubitebya nti kubanga tebafunanga bwenkanya.
Beebanga ne poliisi tugamba mbu nabo tebamanyi ani amanyi kyannaku twebuuza ani avunaanyizibwa ku nsonga eno.
Ku Mande balooya be bategeeza kkooti nti Kirabo yali alwadde COVID tasobola kubeera mu kkooti. Bwe twanoonyereza ebiwandiiko bye yawa kkooti twagenza okizuula nga nabyo biyiiye tatesitingako positive for COVID. Kati bwe twogerera yeekwesenga mmese.
Wabula ye Frank Gashumba mukwano gwa famire y'omugenzi ategeezezza nti obujulizi obwaweebwa mu kkooti bwali bumala okulumika Kirabo.
Atwala ssimu ya Desire Mirembe n'agisuula ekiteezi kasasiro. Bino byonna byogera ku video. Poliisi ne mutwala mu police clinic Ensambya ne bamukebera nga mulamu. Awo wennyini na demonstratinga ensala gye yasalamu omwana. N'agamba nti egyo emisuwa ebiri gye nasala ogumu gutwala musaayi omulala gutwala okisigeni. Nti bagikusala tosobola kumala dakika 2 ku nsi. Poliisi esombye abajulizi abasoba mu 13 okuwa omusango guno. N'abawabi ba gavumenti emukono they've done a good job. Actually ekyekenedde bagamba
wadde ng'omusango guno gwaddamu okusomebwa mu kkooti emukono mu maaso g'omulamuzi Henry Kaweesa wabula omuvunaanwa taddangamu kulabikako mu kkooti okubitebya. Omulamuzi Henry Kaweesa kati yateekawo olwanga 9 omwezi ogwa Novemba omwaka guno okutandika okuwulira omusango guno. Nze Nantongo Rebecca nena Mamonde Deborah wano mu Kampala.
UBC LEERO wabadde wakasatiro ku kkolero ly'engoye n'amasooka erya Naitel mu division y'Enjeru mu district y'e Buyukwe ekimu ku bizimbe mu kkolero lino wekigudde era ng'omuntu omu talutonze. Abakozi abalala baddusiddwa mu ddwaliro nga bali mu bulumi obw'amaanyi.
Omusasi waffe watuukidde ku kkolero lya Naitil Enjeru mu Buyikwe awagudde ekizimbe male mufiiremu omuntu omu n'abalala okulumizibwa. Asanze ebyokwerinda binyeezeddwa era nga tewali muntu yenna akkirizibwa kuyingirayo. Mu bamu ku bagaaniddwa kwe kubadde n'omu ku booluganda lw'omugenzi era asigadde mu biwoobe na miranga.
Omuntu alina bulumi
wayisa akaseera katono ambulance ne zituuka era nga buli ambulance etuuka esooka kwazibwa n'eryokka yessogga ekkolero. Kitutte ekiseera nga tewali mmotoka n'emu efuluma wabula oluvannyuma zivuddeyo nga zivugwa ndiima era nga zibadde ziwerekeddwako kabangali ya poliisi. Abamu ku bakoseddwa batwaliddwa mu ddwaliro ejjinja gye bafunidde obujjanjabi obusookerwako. Afudde ategeerekese nga Buni Sunday omutuuze ku kyalo Webu mu division ey'Enjeru era ng'ab'eŋŋanda ze abakulembeddwamu Jennifer Aletuli mu maziga bategeezezza ng'omugenzi bw'abadde akola mu Naitil era ng'abadde akola gwa kupoota. Aletuli ategeezezza ng'omugenzi bw'abadde agenze okukola ssente yeegulire engoye era ng'eno abuutikiddwa ekisenge nga bamuggyeyo mu ffu.
Genda kulaba mama yagenda kunyire neye emirimu koma bagambe omwana afudde ali eyo Naitil tugende tusanga bamaze kuletawa obadde dani wano ndikumagamba nze silaba kati ndaba ono tuyingire tulaba saa zino simanyi bikyokola nze sagala bamugende basalasale okutwala ebintu nze sagala muyangwe.
Ye omwogezi wa poliisi mu Ssezibwa Helen Butoto akakasizza akabenje kano.
Tugambibwa nti ono omwami abadde ali kumenya ekizimbe ekikadde ekimanyikiddwa nga sun filtering site mu Night Hill. Era kyamukisa mubi ekizimbe wooli yakyo ekisenge kimugwiridde n'akosebwa bubi nnyo. Bano ne bagezaako omutaasa naye oluvannyuma n'afa.
Abaddukanya ekkolero lino bakyagaanye okubaako kye boogera ku njege eno era ng'omugenzi wa kuziikibwa mu disitulikiti ya Arua.
Embeera teribadde nnungi mu kitundu ekyo. Abo abakulembeze ba NRM okuva ku kitebe batandise okutalaga ebitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo nga kati bali Bugerere. Bano bakukunga abantu n'okubabuuza biki ebisinga okubatawaanya n'okulaba ng'enteekateeka za gavumenti ziteekebwa ku mwanjo.
Gye buvuddeko abakulembeze okuva ku kitebe kya NRM ekya Ddondo nga bakulembeddwamu ssaabawandiisi w'ekibiina kino Richard Twadong batongoza kaweefube w'okutalaga ebitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo nga bamutongoleza Bukedi wakati mu kwebuuza ku bawagizi b'ekibiina kino okusoomooza bake bayitamu n'okubazzaamu amaanyi oluvannyuma lw'okuyita mu kalulu akaali akavaawo mpitewo. Olwaleero batandise okutalaga ekitundu ekya Buganda nga mu kitundu kino tebaakola bulungi mu kalulu akaakaggwa.
Kayunga okuva edda baze batuwagira okumala myaka egisuuka 2. Njagala okubeebaza olw'obuwagizi obwo. Njagala batusonyiwe bwanga waliwo obuvunaanyizibwa bwe butaatuukiriza ng'ekibiina oba nga abakulembeze kubanga ensobi zikolebwa naye nga bwe muzitegeera zinogerwa eddagala.
Abawagizi b'ekibiina kya NRM e Kayunga bagamba enjawukana zino zikoze kyamaanyi okuzza ekibiina kyabwe emabega.
Naye nakolesere ssente zange buli kimwe kyange nibanko bawandiika buli mukyala okubukiiko abataano nimbawandiika naye saafuna yadde nusu 10. Kati olwekyo n'abakyala basigala nga batulidde bagamba omukyalo ntwati muyita mukyala mwesuga tumwinamu obwesigu. Kati biki byatukozeseza nga yatutambuzanga.
Naye nze ndowooza nti gavumenti yalwawo okwo. Pulezidenti Museveni yalwamu abantu bano bonna yabafuga ate yennyini ssente ate yazibawa.
Ssaabakunzi w'ekibiina kya NRM Rosemary Nansubuga Senninde agamba ekitundu kino okubeeramu enjawukana z'abanene tekikomye kufiiriza kibiina kyokka wabula n'okuzza emabega enteekateeka za gavumenti.
Kubanga ebizibu ebirwanya oba oliawo bannaffe abakulembeze abaali oba ab'NRM mu Kayunga biyinza okuba nga bya buntu. Naye kati gwe atabimanyi bakuyingiza mu ntalo n'olwana entalo ezitali zizo. At the end of the day ne wesanga nti okemeddwa n'olonda n'abatali ba kibiina kyo ate kabe kasinje nabo ne bwe banatuuka mu ntebe nga tebagenda
kitundu ekisoose tukiwunzikidde wano nkomawo n'ekitundu ekyokubiri nina mu bingi tobisubwa nkomawo tovaawo.
Leero mwendo ogw'e11/2021 wabula bwe lwali bwe ruti mu mwaka gwa 1971 John Emil List yakwata emmundu n'asasira amasasi mu b'omunju ye mu kitundu kya Westfield, New Jersey era ye n'abulawo. John List yali taata mu famire eno era ng'alabika nga atalina buzibu bwonna. Yali musomesa wa Sunday School era mu Scout. Ono mu ngeri etaategeerekeka yakozesa emmundu n'atta nnyina Alama, mukyala we Helen n'abaana be 2 mu kusooka era ng'oluvannyuma yatta ne mutabani we omukulu. Leero mu byafaayo.
Everyone is talking about MTN shares. I am Jenny Kafulua Shares and I am here to show you how you can get them. First, you need a Securities Central Depository account or SCD account in short, and you can open one right now using MTN Momo. It's free of charge. Just get your phone and your national ID and let me show you how. Now, why do you need an SCD account? Well, because every time you get shares in any company, well, including MTN, your shares are going to be kept in this account. But this is not a bank account, and you don't need to go anywhere to open it. So is your phone and your national ID ready? Good. Let me show you how to open your SCD account. First, dial *165*65# or use my MTN app. Then select option 1 to submit SCD account application. Then enter your full national ID number or NIN. Next, select your preferred stockbroker and then choose option 1 to accept the terms and conditions. Lastly, enter your mobile money PIN and wait for confirmation, which you will receive on SMS. Oh, by the way, stockbrokers are the people authorized to help you buy or sell any listed company shares, so you need to choose one. That's it. Once you have your SCD account, you're ready to start applying for your MTN shares for as low as 100,000 shillings for 500 shares.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Introducing Learn From Home Data Bundles. Customized bundles for you and your family to study or work seamlessly from the comfort of your home. Use any of these affordable data bundles to connect to your MiFis, routers, laptops, tablets, and smartphones while avoiding unwanted internet exposure and ensuring undivided attention during online classes. Enjoy instant access to Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and selected educational websites. Dial *175# to buy your Learn From Home bundle today. Airtel, the smartphone network. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the home of our stars. Come on in. We have our movies, gossip, reality, conflict, tulina ne comedy. Basirebu baffe bonna live right here, because no matter where you go, this is the home of our stars.
This year, as Power Magic Mix 3, we are delighted to invite you to see, experience, and celebrate with us. Power Magic, the home of our stars. Multi-Choice Uganda is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
The Uganda Cranes national football team soars higher yet again to qualify for the much-anticipated World Cup in Qatar 2022 with a game against Kenya. Support our boys from the comfort of your home with friends and family as Uganda takes on Kenya on 11th November at St. Mary's Chitenda Stadium starting 4 p.m. Uganda Cranes Paka Qatar with Airtel, the official sponsor of the Uganda Cranes football team.
UBC LEERO mu kitundu ekyokubiri abavubuka basabiddwa okukomya okunyooma emirimu nga baagala ajja kusiba ttaayi gyokka ate nga giriwo mitono ddala. Bino byogeddwa omumyuka wa Katikkiro owookubiri era omuwanika wa Buganda Robert Wagwansibirwa bw'abadde ayogerako mu musomo gw'abavubuka ku ngeri y'okwekulaakulanya ogubadde ku nkola ya ZOM.
Ng'emirimu naddala mu bavubuka ku kyali kusoomozebwa kw'amaanyi wano mu Uganda. Abavubuka basabiddwa okuba abatetenkanya nga beetandikirawo emirimu emitonotono egitaabaleege bijja kutandika. Bw'abadde yeetabye ku musomo gw'abavubuka ku ngeri y'okwekulaakulanya ogutegekeddwa olukiiko lw'abavubuka mu Buganda. Omumyuka wa Katikkiro owookubiri era omuwanika wa Buganda Robert Wagwansibirwa abakalaatidde okukomya engombo ya gavumenti tetufuddeeko.
Njagala okugamba abavubuka si bbula lya bulimu kyekizibu naye kubanga tuganye okulaba emikisa egiriwo nga tusobola okukola ebintu ebyo ne tufunamu ensimbi.
Oweekitiibwa Nsibirwa agamba nti abavubuka beetaaga okwongera okusomesebwa ku ngeri gye bayinza okukozesa buli mukisa ogubaguzze okusinga okulindirira emirimu gy'okusiba ettaayi gy'ayogeddeko nti tegimala abavubuka wadde ebitundu 15 ku 100.
Naye waffe gye batuziika tulinayo eka 10. Ku ttaka eryo kuliko ensiko. Ku ttaka eryo asobola okulundirawo embuzi, embizi neki, naye tayagala kukeera ku makya kukola kintu neki. Awo za gavumenti tetuyambye.
Ssentebe w'abavubuka mu Buganda Beka Sejjengo ategeezezza nti nga bakolagana ne bannamikago baakutandikawo ebibiina omwegattira abavubuka okwekulaakulanya.
Tulina enteekateeka ey'okunoonya abavubuka tubayite bayanga entrepreneurs nga tuteekateeka symposium yaabo abavubuka bibyekoledde mu masaza ag'enjawulo nga tubagatta ne tubaleeta nga tuteekateeka conference nga basomesa abavubuka bannaabo abalala.
Abamu ku bavubuka ku lukiiko lwa Buganda bagamba nti guno omusomo bagufunyeemu nnyo era baakuyambako bannaabwe.
Bagenda kutendeka abavubuka abalina obuyigirize n'abatalina engeri gye basobola okukolamu emirimu emirala egy'enjawulo.
Enteekateeka eno ejja kutuyamba okulaba nti n'abavubuka bwe tukola investment clubs bijja kuyamba okulaba nga omuvubuka wa wansi bimusitula okulaba nga yeerwanako.
Enteekateeka eno ey'okutandikawo ebibiina by'okukulaakulanya abavubuka eruubirirwa okuyamba abavubuka abasukka mu bukadde 10 mu ggwanga lyonna. Omusomo gutambulidde mu nkola eya Zoom. Nze Andrew Sebbira, Emmengo mu Kampala.
Mu byemizannyo ttiimu ya Ethiopia ewangudde eya Uganda mu z'abakazi enjeru mu z'akamalirizo katulabewo ebitambudde.
Trophy from Edward Sekandi, honorable former. What's going to happen? He's going to. Yeah, he could. They played well, and they have to keep myself up. When they feel it's just a lesson for every Ugandan watching. At a certain point, if you actually work hard, had sent off, goalkeeper was sent off for fee. 100% record they have had in this competition.
Webitowe ebitambudde olwakadde gensobodde okutuusaako olunaku olw'enkya tweyungeko ssaawa emu yennyini ey'akawungeezi. Nze Marion Nakitene ne Yusufu Ssenyomo wali ku lulimi olw'obubonero tusinkana olunaku olw'enkya takuumira mpeera ku nkuumire wiraba.
Hello and welcome to Children in Our Lives, a program where children and adults speak about violence against children. On this show, we hear from children about their experiences and we talk to community members to find out what they think and how together we can prevent violence against children. Today, we talk about the benefits of being non-violent. What does that mean exactly? We will start with a story told to Raising Voices, an NGO based in Kampala. And then we will discuss it further in the studio. What are these benefits and how can we change the ways in which we deal with children? Finally, we will hear from a head teacher who decided to try to do things differently and employ non-violent means in his school. But let's start with a story from our favorite storyteller, Mr. Ranjezi Stephen.
Yeah, you have been listening to stories at home. Now I'm talking about school.
Okay.
School. And I'm talking about teachers. Teachers.
Talk about them.
And there are two teachers. But because this happened actually recently, I will not use the teacher's name. But there are two teachers. One, let me call him Emma. And another one, let me call him Lumumba. Now I have you, you want to know the tribe. Now, Mr. Lumumba is a primary 1 teacher, a senior teacher highly respected in the school. Everybody sees him as a great model. One time he finds Mr. Emma putting a boy on the wall. The boy is holding the wall and Emma is behind. One of the classes. And Mr. Emma, without even thinking, said, "Stop it!" And Mr. Emma was wondering, who was this that could ever shout at me to stop when I am punishing children? When he looked behind, it was Mr. Emma standing in the window. Mr. Lumumba, thank you. Standing in the window, angry. And because Mr. Lumumba was highly respected in the school, Emma stood there sheepishly, not knowing what to do, whether to smile or to be angry. And all the children kept quiet and waited to see what Mr. Emma was going to do, whether he was going to slap Mr. Lumumba, continue beating the children. What was he going to do? After a long silence, Mr. Emma just stormed out of the room and left. Mr. Lumumba told the children to sit down. He went back to his class. Now, at break, when Mr. Lumumba went to the staff room, he found Mr. Emma talking to the other teachers. What's wrong with beating children? What's wrong with beating children? And the other teachers were saying, there is nothing wrong. That is how you discipline the children. That is the only way to control them.
Whose children?
The children that are sent to school to be looked after by these teachers. Ah, my friend, do I know whether they had children or not? Some of these were even young boys and girls. Oh! So Mr. Lumumba, after listening to these people, asked them, why do you beat children? And the teachers, hey, that's the only way to control them. That you must instill fear in them so that they can be disciplined. And Mr. Lumumba asked them, is that why you are here? Are you here just to instill fear in the children? Hey, how else will you control them? Are you telling us you don't beat children? And he said, let me tell you why I don't beat children. And he explained that when he, Mr. Lumumba, was in senior 3, he was a wonderful singer, a wonderful dancer. He was a prefect. Everybody liked him. Now, the choir master, although he liked Lumumba very much, was a very harsh teacher. Any small mistake, any small mistake, boom. But Lumumba was intelligent in class, was always passing his numbers. Now he was a good singer, a good dancer. The teacher liked him. One day, just one day like this, they were learning a dance. And, you know, as a child, Lumumba lost his concentration and made a wrong step. Oh! That teacher called him, touch the wall, arms up. He beat this boy so bad that he actually fell unconscious and fell down. He was unconscious. He actually ended up in hospital. By the time he became conscious again, he couldn't move. Eventually, he recovered, went back to school, and became a teacher again. He also became a teacher. The Lumumba now became a teacher. And when he came, the first thing he was also doing was to cane children like he was caned. Especially those who, he was a mathematics teacher then. Those who failed. One day, he was busy caning kids. And one boy, when he was getting to him, the boy stood and said, but teacher, I did my best. I tried, I did my best. The memory of what had happened to him came back. He looked at the boy. He dropped the stick. He told everybody to go back and sit. He couldn't even complete the lesson. That night, he couldn't sleep. The picture of the boy in front of him crying even before he was beaten and telling him, I did my best. This is all I'm capable of. And it went back to the time he was beaten, to the time he had to go to hospital. Up to now, actually, his back has never been quite right. And above all, his singing and dancing talent stopped there. He hated singing, he hated dancing, and he's now also not okay with his back. And from that moment when that boy appealed to him, he stopped beating children. And that is why eventually he became a role model to other teachers. All the teachers, the head teacher, all the children liked him. They looked to him as a guide. And all the others who used to beat were not loved, were not respected, were actually not even making the children learn anything. So, the violence that we have always talked about is not only in homes, but our challenge as good citizens is, what do we do to prevent this from happening? Our challenge is to remember that nobody needs to be punished in order to learn. You can motivate children in a positive way, and you can actually, as long as the rules are clear, the consequences of breaking the rules are known, you can motivate them, and they call it positive disciplining. You can motivate them, and they are motivated in a good way, and they grow up not injured, not harmed. And they learn more and better.
We have listened to Teacher Lumumba's story, someone who chose to be nonviolent. Are you inspired? Well, let's head to the studio now to hear from our guests on the benefits of being nonviolent. Now, some people would think that, the benefits of being nonviolent are pretty obvious, but as someone who was caned when I was in primary school, and a lot of people think that's how it was, that's how it should be, maybe you can just explain to us, what are these benefits?
So there are several benefits. And of course, our culture promotes, using violence. And sometimes when people hear the word violence, they think it's like the hard, fighting, bloodletting and stuff like that. But actually, violence is in different forms, and it can be emotional, it can be verbal, it can be physical, and the violence we are talking about now is the physical violence, which happens all the time. And unfortunately, we have several ways that really promote that kind of violence. For instance, the Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. Our own cultures have several proverbs that also encourage us to, beat our kids as a form of discipline and so on. But we always look at the side where we actually derive immediate effects. That kind of physical violence where you actually get a cane and hit a kid. You instill fear in the child, and you derive very short-term benefits. But after some time, the child gets used to the beating. If you remember in school, when we were being beaten, after some time, kids would start preparing mentally for the beating, and either put on something on the behind to kind of absorb it, or even start beating each other, to kind of get used to the beats. Exactly. You get resilient. You become resilient. You find a way of surviving. But actually, there are several benefits, because that kind of physical violence breeds violence. Sometimes we ask ourselves, where does this come from? Where is the violence we are facing today coming from? There are so many things that we learn from our socialization process that we were taught. What we are taught is what we also pass on. Because I was beaten, I'll also beat somebody, because that's the only form of violence that I know. So when it comes to the benefits, unfortunately, we've not seen so many of those. So we have to unlearn. We have to educate ourselves. what those benefits are. But we know that for sure those benefits are there. For instance, if you instead go for positive disciplining instead of violence, you actually form a safe space for a child to open up, and feel free to converse with you and have a conversation with you. The child can ask questions without fear. The child can challenge without fear. The child will be free to propose and give suggestions without fear. But when they are scared, they will hold back. So you will miss on what the child would have contributed. You will miss on the child's perspective because the child fears, if I speak out, what will this mean? I might be beaten.
Clearly, one of the things that we're getting to know is beating violence is just a short-term solution. And we're looking at something that in the long term will have actual effects in terms of different behavior from our children. In your work, what are some of these benefits that you have seen?
Like my colleague has said, most of our parents, we grew up, they used to tell us that the ears of an African child is on their buttocks. So that was that time. But I think, to me, like you have said, that violence is not necessary, especially in this era, the 21st century. And I think some of the benefits, like I have seen the non-violence methods come with, I think it brings out self-esteem in those children. They can talk to you freely, especially in schools. For me, I'm a teacher by profession. But when you are friendly to those learners, when you don't apply those corporal punishments, you find learners can open to you. They can come close to you. And once they are close to you, they will learn more. But once you are beating, especially there are some teachers who beat because they want to claim respect. They want to be respected. But instead you are instilling fear. If you want to be respected, you just command respect. From what you are doing, you must be a role model. If you are doing things and learners are seeing that whatever you are doing is right. And to be a role model, you are not modeling for only learners in school, even the community, because those learners are from the community. Even when they are out, they are looking at you. So when they come back, they will start to talk about all the evil you are doing in the village, and they will not respect you. And at the end of it all, you will resort to beating them. But you're instilling fear. And once you beat them, then that short-term respect will be there for a short time. But once you use the non-violent means, then you are touching their hearts.
I like that you pointed out the difference between respect and fear, because many people think it's the same thing. Some teachers don't have those coping mechanisms. They don't know. They're like, if I don't beat these children, then they're not going to do what I tell them to do. So what can they do? We keep hearing about positive discipline. What are some examples for teachers who are watching?
One of them is guidance and counseling. Some teachers, they have a mentality that for me, my role is to come and teach and go. Teach the content and go. But they are supposed to integrate the guidance and counseling in whatever they do in the classroom. In our profession, we say that every teacher is a counselor. So I think that teacher can always use other teachers on the staff, like making a referral. If you realize that the pupils are getting used to you, you just refer them to other teachers. Then another form that can be used, we call it detention. Maybe the pupil came late. Instead of beating, when others go maybe for break time or for games time, then you will make that learner remain in class. You say you came late, you have to remain in class and do the work that you missed.
There seem to be very many different ways of going about it. I mean, this is something that goes both ways. Your work with raising voices, you've developed the Good School Toolkit, which I think has very many examples. Maybe you could expound on that.
Yeah. So at Raising Voices, we have this Good School Toolkit. And only focus on the school, but it also focuses on the life of a child out of school. Because if we're only focusing on the child, and remember that the child is very vulnerable in our community, at home, when a child says something, oh, shut up, what are you saying? What do you know? Each time a child is trying to raise their hand, we're like, put your hand down. So the child is always marginalized, is vulnerable, is pushed aside. So if you don't have supportive people around the child to actually support and nurture that character and say, oh yeah, that's good, keep fanning that ability, The child says, can I ask a question? Say, oh, there, go ahead, ask a question. You know, can I have this? Oh, yes, it's good for you to ask for that. Then the child will never build that confidence. We will never have the self-esteem that he was talking about. So parents are important. We want parents to also believe the same way the teachers are believing. We don't want this to only just be a behavior change that is being promoted in school, but then is being contradicted in the home. We want the parents to also realize that you know, the child is safe at school as much as it is safe at home. So reach out to the parents, and then we also reach out to the other community leaders, you know, like religious leaders I talked about, cultural leaders are important. We draw also on individuals who come in and are also, you know, given some ideas and skills and are encouraged to also support.
I like that they're involved in the problem solving as well. So basically, we know there are very many benefits to being nonviolent. What is your advice to parents, to teachers who are watching right now? What would you like to tell them?
For me, to teachers, I think we need to shy away from violent way of handling these children, because sometimes you harm them physically, sometimes mentally, because the words you use. So I encourage teachers to shy away from beating children, because it is not the way to go in this century.
And I just wanted to add to what he has said. I think it's not also just about styling up. It's also about the negative impact that comes with corporal punishment. We don't want to have, like now at Raising Voices, we've done some studies that show a relationship, you know, between violence and mental health, mental illness. And we can see that that is on the rise. Children also get depressed, you know, children also get stressed. So if we are actually violating them more and more, then that means we are going to have more and more of these cases. Deal with whatever you are. We all are here to learn from our mistakes. So let's make those mistakes and learn from them and be better people.
Thank you both for sharing. Thank you so very much. And I think you've heard there are so many benefits in the long run. And what may seem like a solution right here and now can affect someone for the rest of their life. So try to make sure that even if you see someone trying to use violence, you school them, you talk to them, and you make a difference. Thank you again. Welcome back to this discussion on being non-violent. Let's now head out to the community to hear from a Ugandan teacher on their experiences dealing with learners using non-violence.
As a teacher, I've been in many schools, and I was seeing what we are doing. We are doing our culture. We are beaten, we are also needed to beat people so that they understand. But when I came to Nampunge, there is a change I saw. Because we had an organization which brought the Good School program. I was in the office and they approached me. I saw this program as something which is going to help us. So when I introduced to the teacher, he said, no, it's very good. Let us do what? Embrace this. So we told them, what have you brought? They're teaching us, they say now there are other options, and they're giving us workshops about what we can use instead of punishing. I really wanted it. I embraced it. I've seen people, I don't know, knowing what to do, changing from within, other than chasing them. People are not tucking in, and now they know the importance of tucking in. We explained to them, and they learned that being smart is good. Not only to you, but even the person who is seeing you really sees you as a responsible person. I've seen the academic performance changing. Because now people know why they come to school. Not to be beaten. There's a strong relationship between the teachers and the students. They come to the staff room, they come to my office, knowing they will receive help other than cane, other than insults. I've seen the school changing. The population now, because when discipline changes, automatically, the people do what? Appreciate. Parents also come and say, hey, we can see a change. Because we also teach them, when they come in their meetings, we teach them it's not good to harass them.
So what do you tell other teachers and other schools? You know, because some schools, some teachers are still using the cane, they're still beating, they're still shouting.
Not inflicting pain and insults can change a student. The only one is telling him or her what to do and changing from punishment to discipline, because they are different. Punishment is short term, but this one is long term. Another one is, this one, positive discipline has illegal consequences. There's no one who is going to take you to prison because have made a student to write an apology. Other than caning somebody's child and you are taken to prison. I'm telling you, students can change without canes.
In the school, the children know their rights. They know they are not supposed to be beaten. What about teachers? How do you also make sure that teachers know this is what is supposed to happen?
We have workshops. Like, for example, during lunchtime, during break time, we get some information about disciplining, about punishments and the consequences, about the creative methods of teaching. There's a teacher who told me, Margaret, I'm telling you, you helped us, because you are the one who introduced this program to us.
Okay, any final advice to other teachers, to fellow teachers who still feel that you have to beat for a child to learn?
I advise them to stop and embrace this program of good school so that they can know other alternatives other than inflicting pain, other than causing their students to fear them, other than following their culture, that old culture that they have to beat, and they learn these other new methods.
Yes, it's Tuesday, the 9th of November 2021. We welcome you to UBC News tonight. Let's start with a look at the top stories.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Parliament to set up a committee to investigate alleged 50 billion COVID-19 vaccine manufacturing funds. Police investigating Kabale-bound gateway bats that caught fire. Uganda Red Cross constrained with resources to cater for refugees from DR Congo. While Ethiopia beat Uganda 3-2 to lift the Sekafa Under-20 Women Championship.
Was brought to you by Everywhere you go, MTN.
Good evening once again and welcome to UBC News tonight. It's me, Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Elizabeth Nakakoni joins us for sign language. 37 passengers in a first story who were aboard a Gateway bus under registration number UAU 926U en route to Kabale district from Kampala have this afternoon narrowly escaped death when fire broke out of the bus along Kampala-Masaka Highway in Pigi district. The accident, which took place at Kampinisa along the highway, was a result of a mechanical fault, not a blast as many earlier reports had indicated. According to police, investigations into the accident have commenced. However, no casualties have been reported. Robert Onyango rushed to the scene of the accident, and here he reports.
This was the scene this Tuesday afternoon as a passenger bus under registration number UAU 926U prematurely abandoned its journey at Kampiringisa along Masaka Road after spitting fires. Managed by Gateway Bus Company, was en route to Kabale district with 37 passengers on board, and all were evacuated injury-free.
Nibagamba muveyo mpola mpola. Temubabaika kugwa mumenyeke. Nebavaamu mpola mpola ngekyanyoka wano mabega. Nebagwamu moroka ne kwato omuliro yokka.
But none is injured. They all disembarked without any injury, those who were on board.
As Mpigi District Fire Brigade rushed to the scene, there was nothing to save as the carrier was totally burnt to ashes. Samuel Omoji, who was the bus driver, narrates the ordeal.
Moroka nenda wange enyoka. Wendabye moroka nge enyoka mabega nenyimirira. Ngenzo okuvayo kutunulayo nga omuka guweze. Nengezako okukwata ki ekidomola ky'amazzi kizenzikize ne birema nenjivwako.
As police embarks on investigation into the matter, the driver was arrested from the scene to partly facilitate the process.
Kakati mwagala ku anti kutokozesa kifuba. Tokozesa kifuba.
There is no likelihood of anything like a blast or a bomb blast. It is from the mechanical condition of the bus. Yeah. Because no bomb is detected, nothing in connection to a bomb. No, for us, we must continue investigating.
The State Minister for Internal Affairs, General David Muhoozi, was quick to give an update over the matter in today's parliamentary session.
Of a new bus having been burnt in Mpigi, and it is scaring enough. I thought the Minister would also advise us whether it is true or just alarming. And that's the information Minister, in relation to bombs.
Can you give us a clarification on that? It was in my communication because I saw it on social media. So you never know, it is just a social media.
No, it isn't, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members. There was indeed an incident on Masaka Road at Kamengo, to be exact. A bus caught fire, and the information filtering in at the moment, and not yet complete, is that he developed mechanical conditions which forced the driver to stop. The passengers alighted, fortunately, but it caught fire nevertheless. The fire tenders are on the way, and once the fire is taken out, we shall verify to know the cause, whether it was something not related to the current threat of terrorism.
Although there were mixed reactions, especially from members of the public upon receiving the news of this Kampiringisa bus fire, police has embarked on the investigation to ascertain and get more details on what could have sparked this fire. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Robert Onyango, UBC News. The Ugandan Red Cross Society has urged the host Ugandan government to provide resources that will enable contagious planning of the Congolese refugees entering Uganda from the troubled DRC. The spokesperson, Uganda Red Cross Society, Marion Nakitene, says that the organization has been constrained with COVID-19, hence struggling to manage the new wave of refugees that are entering the country.
Following the intense fighting in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, Congolese now seek for rehabilitation and a peaceful environment to settle them. The country has now received over 1,000 Congolese refugees entering through different border points with DRC.
We are not able to establish the exact number of people, but we speak in thousands because by yesterday many uncountable people entered the country. However, at the Nyakabande Transit Center, about 690 people slept there because people were arriving at Bunagana, but the only sleeping place where the people would really sleep is Nyakabande.
The spokesperson, Uganda Red Cross Society, Marion Nakitene, says many of the refugees entering Uganda through Bunagana border are facing challenges of less accommodation and other relief aid items at Nyakabande Transition Center. Apparently, Uganda Red Cross Society is held between a hard surface to manage the status quo due to inadequate resource capacity.
They came through Bunagana border point and there was no shelter, there was nothing. They just now filled up the entire town, scattered. But from the meeting we had with the local district, we agreed that we find shelter. The nearest shelter in Kisoro is the Nyakabande Transit Center. So that's where they are being moved to. And I said today, the UNHCR has established transport system, at least will help us to move people from Bunagana to Nyakabande.
The society was not prepared at the moment to receive Congolese refugees, and this is coming with a lot of risks, especially with COVID-19. At the moment, no single refugee is tested upon arrival at Bunagana border entry.
There is no modality of screening people who are entering, so you don't know who has probably a bomb or not. Yeah, then too, in terms of the risks, in terms of the health emergencies, you're not so sure who has COVID, who has Ebola, because recently DRC had an outbreak of Ebola. So all these cases are also not yet managed. But then we have many risks. Emergency wash. There is no access to clean and safe water. There are not enough latrines and toilets. There is not enough food, so anything can happen. Lives can get lost under such circumstances.
The biggest percentage so far being women and children. These urge government to allocate resources rather than the society, depending on donors. However, latest information coming in from Red Cross field officials at Bunagana Transit Camp indicates that some of the refugees that had crossed into Uganda are returning back to the DRC after top security officials in the DRC assured them of their safety. Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
Now, Parliament is to set up a committee to investigate allegations that over 50 billion shillings were swindled in disguise of COVID-19 vaccine manufacturing in Uganda. The information putting the Minister for Science and Technology, Dr. Monica Musenero, in the spotlight was since last week brought to the attention of Parliament by Ntungamo Municipality member Yona Musinguzi, who alleged that the former senior presidential advisor on epidemics lied to President Yoweri Museveni about the COVID-19 vaccine manufacturing in Uganda. Daniel Mugoya was in Parliament, and it is him with this.
I offered myself to bring you all this information for the consumption of this House.
Last week, on Thursday, 4th November 2021, the Ntungamo Municipality Member of Parliament, Yona Musinguzi, alerted Parliament of allegations that over 50 billion shillings have been misallocated under the directorship of Minister for Science and Technology in the Office of the President, Dr. Monica Musenero. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, asked MP Musinguzi to present his allegations with facts before the August House could take his cries serious. Before the crowds gathered, the NRM leader representing the people of Ntungamo Municipality, Yona Musinguzi, during the Tuesday parliamentary session, presented several documents as evidence backing up his claims. MP Yona Musinguzi asserts that the Minister for Science and Technology, Monica Musenero, led a team of scientists to the President and acquired funds to the tunes of over 50 billion shillings to fast-track manufacturing of COVID-19 vaccines in Uganda under the Presidential Scientific Initiative for Epidemics.
When you ask her the procedures she followed in channeling the 31 billion to different doctors, she cannot tell you the procedure she followed. She handpicked a few of them. Even those whom she handpicked, some of them have denied her. I lay on table.
The documents, and that is the evidence we asked for, and that's what is laying on table.
The chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Science, Technology and Innovations, Achia Remigio, also MP for Pian County, tried to block his comrade Yona Musinguzi's presentation, saying the committee he chairs is already handling the matter. However, his information was not digested.
And the report of preside is precisely before me. Speaker. The information I'm giving Madam Speaker is that this piece of information...
Order, Madam Speaker.
Let's get all the documents. That will help the minister.
Parliament also blocked the Minister of State for Finance, General Duties Henry Musasizi, from responding to the concerns on behalf of Dr. Monica Musenero. Deputy Speaker Anita Among, who chaired the plenary sitting, resolved to have a select committee to investigate the matter.
Those in favor say aye, committee, and the contrary, no.
I keep this one for myself, but for my security, Madam Speaker, on Thursday, 2 vehicles followed me, and I know you have enough security. I will not move out of this parliament before you give me one security.
Daniel Mugoya and Gloria Guitabinji, UBC News.
Member.
That was in Parliament, and we'll keep you posted. Ministry of Works and Transport has launched investigations into the enraging infights in the Uganda Railways Corporation, which is tainting the image of the corporation and the line Ministry of Works. While inspecting the new locomotives, State Minister in charge of Transport Fred Byamukama accused a batch of uncontented officials in the corporation for giving wrong information to Parliament about the new developments in the corporation.
From the time Parliamentary Committee on Commission, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises instituted investigations into the operations of Uganda Railways Corporation, several contradicting information has emerged which has raised public eyebrows about the corporation. Among the emergencies was the newly procured locomotives at a tune of 48 billion Uganda shillings. However, available information to the probing committee indicates that the locomotives are not compatible with the actual capacity of Ugandan rails.
Originating from internal fights within URC, fighting for positions. For us as government, we would wish to work with patriotic people, those who love their country, and those who do work with an aim of value for money. But when you come and start fighting for positions for us, we don't want to know as government. That's when this propaganda came in. Propaganda, our locomotives cannot work.
While inspecting these locomotives, the State Minister for Transport Fred Byamukama noted the next course of action.
We realized the triangle which you have seen in front there, when they arrive here, where they are supposed to turn and they make a reverse journey, it was too sharp. These are, you know, when your vehicle is long, it cannot negotiate a sharp corner. But when the vehicle is short, can easily negotiate a sharp corner. So our engineers recommended that triangle should be changed to remove the sharp corner. That's what they have been doing, though the work was done slowly. I've directed them by Friday. They should have finished to work on that triangle.
According to the URC officials, the alignment of this triangle was accounted for while initiating the procurement procedures of these locomotives.
And we want you to call back the person who said the line is wide everywhere to tell you which line is wide. Because we moved the locals on that line all the way from Malaba to Kampala. So this is just a program of customization which we are completing and just within our time.
The mudslinging of the corporation by a bunch of corporation officials is a matter of concern to the Minister Byamukama, not excluding costing the country's image.
We have these ones whom I've told you who are looking for survival, who are targeting which billions have come to RC. How can I take 1 billion? How can I take 2 billions? They skip all the protocols and run it to Parliament. Of course, I think the Parliament of Uganda is there to listen and to monitor the government program.
Investigations have been launched to ascertain those who might have provided the committee with the wrong information for personal gains.
The internal problems, the public concerns concerning URC, there are different teams from different bodies investigating. And once they give us a report implicating someone, pinning someone, for us as government, we shall not take any chance. Because this money is taxpayers' money, and we need to develop. So that is concerning
the minister has assured the public government's commitment to invest in passenger rail transport by revising the budget allocations. Abdul Nasir Lubwama, UBC News.
Members of Parliament want the Ministry of Lands and Urban Development to reinstate the Uganda Land Commission after it was suspended by the Line Minister, Honorable Judith Nabakoba, about a month ago. The Member of Parliament for Busiro East Media Lubega Segona articulated that the commission was suspended illegally and it's unconstitutional for land transactions be undertaken when the commission is not in place. Philip Aguta has this.
Last month, the Minister for Lands and Urban Development, Judith Nabakoba, suspended the Uganda Land Commission on grounds of fraudulent involvement in land matters.
So if they are bickering around, conflicting, not agreeing, and we think that they are going to take the right decisions. So that's why I want investigations to be done. We get the reports good enough. IGG and police promised that they would be faster and give me their reports. And basing on those reports, then we can decide on the way forward. Of course, they have been saying, I cannot take over, but I guided as a minister responsible for Ministry of Lands.
However, members of Parliament want the Land Commission reinstated, claiming that the minister's actions were illegal.
Article 238 of the Constitution requires that there should be something called the Uganda Land Commission. For the last 1 month, and this is appointed by the President with approval of this House, Parliament. For the last 1 month, the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, the Honorable Judith Nabakoba, purportedly suspended Uganda Land Commission unilaterally and without due process.
And they have not been able to conduct any business. And as a result, we, the consumers of the services of that commission, have been disadvantaged for purposes of information and to highlight the problem in that place. As we speak now, the chairperson of the Lands Commission and the secretary don't see eye to eye.
The lawmaker also accused the Prime Minister and the State Minister for Lands for illegal actions concerning the land matters and wants them to be summoned before Parliament for explanation.
For the Prime Minister and her 2 ministers to appear in Parliament and explain that egregious abuse of their power. 2, for Parliament to urge, to compel the ministry to reinstate the commission because the suspension is illegal for want of authority. The President has never had any problem.
According to the Uganda Land Act, Section 55, the minister has powers to suspend the commission. However, with the intervention of Parliament, it remains to be seen if the minister will reinstate the old members of the commission or put in place new members. Philip Aguta, UBC News at Parliament.
We thank you so much for watching. At this point, let's take a very short break. But on return, we have a lot that you do not want to miss.
Today in history.
John Emil List gunned down his entire family in their Westfield, New Jersey home and disappeared. John List was an outwardly normal and successful father, a Sunday school teacher, and a Boy Scout troop leader. Seemingly out of the blue, List shot his mother Alma, his wife Helen, and 2 of his children, and later shot his elder son.
Everyone is talking about MTN shares. I am Jenny Kafulua Shares, and I am here to show you how you can get them. First, you need a Securities Central Depository account, or SCD account in short, and you can open one right now using MTN Momo. It's free of charge. Just get your phone and your national ID, and let me show you how. Now, why do you need an SCD account? Well, because every time you get shares in any company, well, including MTN, your shares are going to be kept in this account. But this is not a bank account, and you don't need to go anywhere to open it. So is your phone and your national ID ready? Good. Let me show you how to open your SCD account. First, dial *165*65# or use my MTN app. Then select option 1 to submit SCD account application. Then enter your full national ID number or NIN. Next, select your preferred stockbroker and then choose option 1 to accept the terms and conditions. Lastly, enter your mobile money PIN and wait for confirmation, which you will receive on SMS. Oh, by the way, stockbrokers are the people authorized to help you buy or sell any listed company shares, so you need to choose one. That's it. Once you have your SCD account, you're ready to start applying for your MTN shares for as low as 100,000 shillings for 500 shares.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Raising voices.
I feel happy when my father spends time with me. I hope all fathers will like my father. I want my father to reach out to all fathers. He knows how important it is to be a good father. I promise to help my father inspire other fathers to change.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Introducing Learn From Home Data Bundles. Customized bundles for you and your family to study or work seamlessly from the comfort of your home. Use any of these affordable data bundles to connect to your MiFi, routers, laptops, tablets, and smartphones while avoiding unwanted internet exposure and ensuring undivided attention during online classes. Enjoy instant access to Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and selected educational websites. Dial *175# to buy your Learn From Home bundle today. Airtel, the smartphone network. Terms and conditions apply.
Kagalino twalekedde ekyatulese tuzze tukalanga enfunda eziwerako ddala eno yego TV Super eyabakaguje njagala wekkaanyi ewatali kwemamaaza olwo tuba tusimbudde ne Go TV Super Duper waawawa era nga bakutuusyako ekiga ekyabakabejja abasajja eŋŋwaŋŋuli kwogata ne busineema obujjudde omuhabati ku $5,000 mu 15 waawawa soka bulaza weefunye ekirungo kya Go TV Super ekijjudde obulungi ove mu baaje.
The Uganda Cranes national football team soars higher yet again to qualify for the much-anticipated World Cup in Qatar 2022 with a game against Kenya. Support our boys from the comfort of your home with friends and family as Uganda takes on Kenya on 11th November at St. Mary's Chitenda Stadium starting 4 p.m. Uganda Cranes Paka Qatar with Airtel, the official sponsor of the Uganda Cranes football team.
Everyone is talking.
Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend surfaces. Roofing's, strength of a nation.
Everyone is talking about MTN shares. I am Jenny Kafulua Shares, and I am here to show you how you can get them. First, you need a Securities Central Depository account, or SCD account in short, and you can open one right now using MTN Momo. It's free of charge. Just get your phone and your national ID, and let me show you how. Now, why do you need an SCD account? Well, because every time you get shares in any company, well, including MTN, your shares are going to be kept in this account. But this is not a bank account, and you don't need to go anywhere to open it. So is your phone and your national ID ready? Good. Let me show you how to open your SCD account. First, dial *165*65# or use my MTN app. Then select option 1 to submit SCD account application. Then enter your full national ID number or NIN. Next, Select your preferred stockbroker and then choose option 1 to accept the terms and conditions. Lastly, enter your mobile money PIN and wait for confirmation, which you will receive on SMS. Oh, by the way, stockbrokers are the people authorized to help you buy or sell any listed company shares, so you need to choose one. That's it. Once you have your SCD account, you're ready to start applying for your MTN shares for as low as 100,000 shillings for 500 shares.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. In business, the Deputy Katikiro of Buganda Kingdom, Robert Nsibirwa, has appealed to Baganda youth to start up small jobs through creativity to enhance their income other than waiting for white-collar jobs.
Central government devises means of addressing the increasing numbers of unemployed Ugandans, which is a time bomb. The Buganda Kingdom has urged the youth in the kingdom to focus on creating small businesses for survival purposes.
Isn't there work that graduates, a plumber, an artisan, a plumber, a caterer, somebody that has done tourism can do in the community to earn a living?
Speaking at the Youth Empowerment Symposium on how to reduce unemployment, Nsibirwa stressed the need for more training to utilize the available opportunities to eliminate poverty.
The jobs to get employed and be paid as a worker, as an employee, are not enough. We have a deficit of 900,000 every year. But what we can do, what young people can do to earn a living using their energy, using their skills and knowledge, are enormous in our country.
The chairperson, Buganda Youth Council, Becca Sejengo, says through partners have started circles to empower youth serving skills and creating their own jobs.
Katika symposium yabo abavubuka bibyokulidde mu masaza ag'enjawulo nga tubagatta ne tubaleeta nga tutekateeka conference nga basomesa bavubuka bannabo abalala bo bakikola batya
Buganda Kingdom estimates over 10 million youths will benefit through the concept of creating circles in Buganda. Lydia Chomkama, Andrew Sebira, UBC News.
And in not very good news to us as Uganda, Ethiopia has beaten our team 3-2 to win the inaugural Sekafa Under-20 Women Championships at the Full Fight Technical Center in Jeru. Going into this game at this championship of 6 nations, Uganda sat atop the standings, level on 12 points with Ethiopia, but on a better goal difference. Thus, Uganda needed to just avoid defeat and were on course after leading 2-0 at halftime, with the Ethiopians also reduced to 10 players following goalkeeper Bethlehem Bekele's red card. But a spirited second-half performance by the Ethiopians yielded a goal in the 51st minute by Radiat Asra before Ariat Odongo leveled the game in the 79th minute. The Ethiopians then took the lead in the 82nd minute when Tige Stiley bundled home after a well-worked Ethiopian move that prized open Uganda's defense. The 10 girls resisted the Ugandan attack in the final minutes and held on till the Eritrean referee Susanna Johannes blew the final whistle. The other countries at the championship of the 15 games and 70 goals were Tanzania, Burundi, Eritrea, and Djibouti.
The trophy is in the coming. Naredos, Gatnets will be receiving this trophy from Edward Sekandi, Honorable, former Vice President. Does he want to hoist the trophy also?
I don't know what's going to happen. He's going to, yeah, he couldn't know.
Oh, he needs to hand over the trophy there. And the trophy has been handed over, and there you go. Ethiopia are the champions of the inaugural Sekafa Women's Under-20 Championship. They well, and they have won it. They are true champions, and they have shown exactly why they are.
Well, there is a line in that song that is playing, and when I fall down, I have to keep myself up. When they fell down during the first up, the Ethiopians got up, and it stand up for the champions. It is just a lesson for every Ugandan watching that sometimes when things go bad, please don't feel bad. They become better at a certain point if you actually work hard and if you try to do what you're doing consistently. The coach was red carded, sent off, the goalkeeper was sent off, but still Ethiopia pulled this through and managed to win the trophy.
100% record they have had in this competition. They have beaten every team that came their way.
Story not good at all, but that's what it was. Let's have a look at the top stories as we wind up for now.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Parliament to set up a committee to investigate alleged 50 billion COVID vaccine manufacturing money. Police is investigating Kabale-bound gateway bus that caught fire. The Uganda Red Cross constrained with resources to cater for refugees from DR Congo. While in sport, Ethiopia beat Uganda 3-2 to lift the Sekafa Under-20 Women Championship.
What? By everywhere you go, MTN.
That is what we had for you for now. We'll get back to you with news at 10 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakoni and the whole team. Let's get to you then.
I'm Donald Rukari. I'm the chairperson of the National Council of Sports and the president of the Uganda Olympic Committee and a recent immediate past president of Uganda Swimming Federation. And I would like to take the viewers of UBC through the journey of sports, but also focusing particularly on the National Council of Sports and the Uganda Olympic Committee. This journey began way back in the case of the National Council of Sports in 1964, when it was set up